What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations. 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care, and our team since 2020, I was going to say 2022, 2020, has reached out directly and indirectly to over 300,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Also, I'm a featured content creator. So is our friend coming up in just a second of the Indie Soup TV network. It's a list of about 27 content creators, independent content creators, and we are powered and driven and mentored by the lady called Dr. Tachi out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. If you want to catch this type of content and many other great content creators on Indie Soup Media, there's the link. So we got it all down. And we already have some people visiting up here. So who's in the house? Well, look who's already in the house. Dr. Tachi. So finally, I'm doing a broadcast. I mentioned her and she's there. That is incredible. So there you go. Make sure you support Indie Soup Media TV because there's more great things coming. And I guess in less than 3 months, 11,000 YouTube followers. So I'm blessed to be one of those content creators. I have about 3 or 4 shows weekly on that network, and I'm happy to also be a member of the advisory board. Was hanging out with Dr. Tachi this afternoon and seeing how I could serve her. So I did my best. I hope, Dr. Tachi, I did a good job this afternoon. Hope so. So let's get it rolling here. Let me do this. Let me do something really quick here. All right. We're good to go. All right. Around this time of year, yes, you did. I did do a good job. Thank you, Dr. Tachi. All we need to do is get a certain person stop eating oxtail. That's another conversation. All right. So around this time of year, for the last number of years, we've had our special friend come on. Oh, wow. Look at this. Bill Lauer is in the house. Will and Bill. And by the way, I got my gift. Much thanks. I didn't want to get it. I was going to send an email response. I said, you know what? Something tells me if Serena comes on, one of you two be hanging out. So thank you so much for your gift. I have been hanging out with it and also going to show you. Go, yes, I like how you say it. We are in the house. They are in the house. And yes, awesome. Thank you for that gift. It's appreciated, not taken for granted. And when are you coming back on to give us updates, by the way? Want to know, because I know you had your big event. I haven't heard anything post of it, but let's make sure you two are welcome anytime. We make room for you. Of course, absolutely. We make room anytime for you. Man, at this rate, our friends not going to get on the screen, so I better put on this screen. And Bill says anytime. Serena Wills is in the house. Why is Serena Wills here? You know what? Let me tell you why she's no. Let her tell you. Other than talking about food trucks. Hello, Serena Wills.
Hi, how you doing?
I am blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. What's going on in your world?
You know, it's the end of May. June will be here on Saturday, which is very frightening.
Yeah. You know, I thought it was months. Like earlier on this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, February is the shortest month. We agree on that. But I was asking about, I don't remember one day in February.
It really blew by. It really did.
Yeah, but now it's every month.
Yeah.
It's not just 1 month. Hey, what's up, Helena H? Good.
Hello, Helena. Hi.
What's going on? Look, everybody come on in. Let's ram the place. Let's ram it Will style.
Here we go. Let's go.
So, yeah, the time is going by. So how is the growing man of the house?
So he is good. He just completed 6th grade on Friday. So wow. I now have a rising 7th grader. And It's crazy because, Dr. Vibe, when I first started doing shows with you, he was 7, and now he is turning 13. So that's how I keep track.
Oh, so from a person that didn't want to come on screen to a person who wanted to be on screen to a
Yeah.
person then who went to his room and didn't want to show his face.
Yeah. That's where he is now. He's in his room gaming, doing his thing, and says, "Oh, good luck on the show, Mom. I'll watch it later on YouTube," because he has his own YouTube channel.
What?
He is a gamer.
Okay.
So for those who, my son Jordan is a gamer, and he wants to have a YouTube presence. So he has his own YouTube channel, and he's starting to get into that. So yeah, that's his whole thing. I'll watch the replay, Mom, or I'll watch you live across the apartment.
Okay.
So,
Some person saying hello.
Vanetta! That's my son's godmother and one of my
Okay.
bestest friends in the universe.
Okay.
Oh my God. Hey, Vanetta.
You're bringing the posse over.
Bringing the crew over.
The
Okay.
crew over. Bill Lauer says, hello, Serena.
Hi, Bill.
This
Much
is
love.
cool.
Much love to everyone being here tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, young man is doing good. He just advanced up a level. He does Taekwondo. So, yep, he started Taekwondo in March, and he's now a white stripe belt. So that's like the second belt, and he loves it. He loves it. I love it. He loves it. And yes, that's Jordan's world. My world, I'm writing and thriving and coaching, and about to celebrate my 10th anniversary of my first book, Reconstruction.
Oh my goodness.
Pieces of Life Volume 1 came out June 14th, 2014. So we have an anniversary coming up. So my first book will be a decade old in a couple of weeks.
Do you remember the journey of writing the first book?
Yeah, because it was during my Lyme journey. I was deathly ill putting that book together. And it was already pieced together, but was sitting in a laptop. And I was like, you know what? Now's the time. Because if I check out of here tomorrow, my legacy is in a laptop. Okay, so what are we going to do? Pulled my team together and said, this may sound crazy. I'm practically bedridden as I'm typing this email, but I got to get my book out. And between my editor, my graphic designer, artist, you name it, they pulled it together. We pulled it together, and it came out officially June 14th, 2014.
Wow. And do you remember holding the first copy in your hand?
Oh my God. I was in tears in my kitchen, crying my eyes out. They send you a proof. And I was afraid to open it at first. And I said, I got to get in here and open it up. And I was in my kitchen with Jordan, and we sat there and opened it together. And I just cried. Just tears and tears of joy. Because I at that point, I was starting to see the light in my healing. I was still going through IV treatments. So it was like, you know what? I did this. We did this. And who knew it would come out like that? So yeah, I remember vividly.
Yeah.
Vividly.
Wow, I've been part of this journey for 6 years. Has it really been 6 years?
It's been, that was late August 2018 when I first came on. And, of course, I was watching you from before with Leah and Tachi when they did their Wednesday night special. So that was back from 2016, I think, or so. So I was watching from behind, and that's when Leah said, you need to meet my friend in Soror, Serena. She's got a lot to share. And yeah, that's how I met Tachi. I met her through the Dr. Vibe show and Leah.
Wow. So people, that tells you I've been doing this for a minute. Okay.
It's a Mississippi minute, as we call it. It's long minutes.
Well,
okay.
I have to find something comparable in Canada. Well, maybe Canadians will know. They won't get it. They won't get Mississippi.
You find like a slow town or county, like, oh yeah, okay, or just do
100%. 100%. Well, here's another friend who's checked in.
Hi, Aunt Hilda. That's my aunt.
What?
Hi.
man, this is like family reunion. This isn't Lyme disease awareness
It's
night.
almost like Family Feud. Like it could be like Family Feud too, you know.
Oh,
But
no. Come on now. No,
just
this is a
minus the
reunion.
prizes and the you
No,
know,
this is
car,
reunion.
yeah.
No, it's not a feud. It's a reunion. It's reunion. Well, around this time for the last number of years, Serena's come on and shared about Lyme disease awareness.
Mhm.
And it's always important that we know about these things and we're preventative. And also, if you know or you yourself have it, we always have Serena come in and provide background, current updates, her journey. I actually saw some of the posts she put on Instagram lately about her journey, quite riveting and quite engaging. So the rest of the evening is yours. So you take us where you want to go.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, thanks for tuning in to it just popped into my mind, the chronic Lyme journey. And it's funny, I have to give a shout out to Indie Soup Media right about now. Shout out to Sora Tachi. I was in the middle of recording content for Indie Soup Media. And I said, well, while I have the camera up, the lights on, all that, let me talk about my Lyme journey. So I recorded those videos the other month, like back in April. And because I was like, and I learned that from Tachi, while you're all dressed to, for success and you got the lights on, record some more content. So I shifted gears and went from self-publishing, which is on Indie Soup Media on Mondays at 5 p.m. is my segment. So I shifted gears and started talking about Lyme disease. So I have a few videos pre-recorded. I'll upload another one in another day or two and then wrap up the month and just keep them going, and just started to really be vulnerable, especially that last one I posted. I really talk about what I am going through, have been through, and what I'm still currently going through with chronic Lyme. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for tuning in and checking those videos out.
Was it difficult for you to record that content and because I haven't seen you other than here be so, I don't like the word vulnerable, so open and intimate about.
That's okay. Vulnerable is a superpower. Vulnerability.
Okay. Well, I hear it too much. I get tired of that word, but
I'm a health and wellness coach, so that's in our vocabulary. And the famous Dr. Brene Brown, I encourage you to look her up. She's like the queen of vulnerability. But yeah, I really was that. Just being crystal clear. I remember the day I recorded it. It was a pretty dark day outside. It was raining and kind of storming out, and it just started pouring out of me. I will say after that second one, the one that y'all just saw, there were some tears because that's what I went through, but what I'm currently going through. And sometimes you get into a space that you wonder, why am I still going through this? Why? And the one thing I wanted to just share with people is, even though I'm going through and still battling some symptoms, I'm a whole lot further ahead than I was some years ago. I've been on this journey with Lyme since September 2012. And I was initially diagnosed December 2012. Because I was misdiagnosed 9 times before the initial diagnosis, and then a 10th time after that with a doctor who didn't believe I had Lyme, even though we told her I had Lyme. Oh, I don't think you have that. But yeah, this last one, I talk about the handful of symptoms I currently have. And, a couple of them are what I call intermittent. They're not every day, thank God. And one is daily. So we're at a place where, when I say we, I'm talking about me and my medical team. I've added on a couple of new faces to my team to get to the root cause of these symptoms. What is it? How can we get Serena in remission? What is it going to take? Is different protocols, different kinds of treatments, shake things up, but how to do it gently so she can still function and not have what's called a Hertz reaction, Herx. And a Hertz reaction is basically a reaction when you are treating the illness, and let's say the die-off is happening. It's a die-off syndrome. So the bacteria is dying off, the viral, but it's so much that it's kind of overwhelming your system, and then you start to not feel well. So we're trying to avoid that at all costs.
Okay. You mentioned some of the daily challenges that you have. How do these symptoms or your current symptoms impact your ability to work, socialize, and engage in daily activities?
Yeah, so I have to work. The blessing is, and for those who are new to me, I don't want to say I'm a jack of all trades. I'm not. I have two distinct hats. So I'm a wellness coach, a health and wellness coach, a national board certified one at that. I'm adjunct faculty for grad school. I'm a wellness instructor as well. And I'm an author. And that's what I do for a living. I can now say that is what I do for a living. Okay, so the beautiful thing is I get to dictate my own schedule. And that's been a long time coming. So some people are like, oh, I work Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. I don't punch a clock per se. I have a schedule, and people make appointments, like especially my coaching practice. And my classes are set up in such a way. But I did that for my health and wellness. I'm glad and I'm thankful, that God saw it fit to say, okay, she really needs an extra day in the week to kind of get it together. So I work, 4 or 5 days a week. It's not a full 40-hour week. And sometimes if it is more than 40 hours, it's doing what I love to do. And that's been years and years coming. But there are days where I have to just kind of push through. There's days where I'm teaching class. I know I have a class at 2 o'clock and my head feels like a bobblehead. And that's because I have inner ear disturbance. So sometimes I feel like I'm always moving, even though I'm not. And on the days where it's the right ear in particular, left ear is completely fine. We've done tests and my left ear operates as normal. The right ear does not. The right ear does not react the way it should. So there are days where it's a form of dizziness. It's a form of like a rocky boat sensation, but you're not moving. You're not physically moving, but your ear thinks it is. So when that happens, you always feel like you're in motion. And I'm teaching and I'm coaching and I feel this way, but I've been dealing with this symptom since December 2012. So I've gone through physical therapy, had to redo some things in my diet. I know when I've had a little too much salt in my diet because my right ear starts to burn. And that's when I know, okay, the sodium level is a little too high. Or if I have too much sugar, like for example, I had some maple syrup. Yeah, it's fresh and it's fresh maple syrup, but the amount of milligrams of sugar in there, even though it's natural sugar, was too much for my body. And my ear starts to react. So that's a daily symptom that I deal with on a daily basis. There's not one day where I can say, oh, I have a day where it goes away. It might be at a minimum, like very minimum, but it's there. Okay. So we're trying to figure out the what and the how, because unfortunately the inner ear and middle ear is a great mystery like the brain, but you can't see the inner and middle ear. That's the problem. So there's no scans, or we could put this probe into her. They can't do that. So they can't see the inner part of my ear. And I really pray that science or somebody could figure that out, because so many people would be relieved of vertigo, dizziness, Meniere's disease, all kinds of disorders of the ear.
Okay.
So that's
that's a start. So
that's
folks,
yeah,
and get ready, because I have a whole pile of conversation pieces.
Okay.
Serena, I loaded up this time. So, since all the people here are family, I've got to make sure I represent, or the family's going to come after me, right?
They would appreciate it. They're really
going to come after me. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break for about 45 seconds. We'll come back and we'll continue on the journey about Lyme disease awareness. So we'll see you back in about 45 seconds.
Wow, wow, wow. What an awesome discussion and interview with Dr. Vibe. You can see why he's so successful, has so many awards, has so many accolades. Dr. Vibe listens so well to the person he's interviewing, and he loves bringing out their story to share with his audience. My name is Ramon Ray, founder of smarthustle.com, and I just had a great experience sharing with Dr. Vibe and his audience about my journey. And I want to say a big thanks to Dr. Vibe, big thanks to your community, Dr. Vibe, because clearly you love what you do, and you're a shining beacon for us all to focus on entrepreneurship, be better fathers, grow our families, and live and have great businesses. So thank you so much. I can't wait to work with you again. You're an amazing, amazing interviewer and first-class professional. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow.
All right, we are back. Yes, Ramore, thank you so much for the kind words. So we're continuing on the journey because we got a lot to talk about.
Okay, I'm ready.
So my next conversation piece. How do you manage your symptoms and treatment regimen? And have you found any particular therapies or lifestyle changes helpful in managing your condition?
That's a great question. So the lifestyle changes had to start way back in 2012. And huge shout out to my doctor, Dr. Mines, Mines. I actually have an appointment with her on June 7th, coming up. So just coming up in a couple of weeks. She's been my doctor. She's the one that diagnosed me with Lyme disease and saved my life, pretty much. The first thing before we even knew it was Lyme, she said, I need to take you off of any foods and anything that is inflaming your system. So she said, I need you to go gluten-free, dairy-free, alcohol-free. And I was already not eating red meat. Me and red meat don't get along at all. Like my body, my stomach says it tastes good going down. But as soon as it gets down the digestive tract, my body's like, no, what did you just do to me? So red meat is out. Chicken is a newer addition that happened 4 years ago, actually April 2020 to be exact. I started to realize I was becoming more short of breath. That's one of my symptoms too. So I was like, is this Lyme? I know it's springtime. Is it spring? But I started to realize a pattern. Every time I ate chicken, I became shorter of breath and my back would spaz out. And chicken and rice. I love Peruvian food. Okay. So it's like, what do you mean? So I did some research. And actually, he's not new, but past couple of years new, one of my GYN doctor, he was talking about foods that are high in hormones. And he said, even though there's free range, okay, like free range this and free range that, he said, we are in the United States of America. There's only but so much free range you could get. And he said he actually has other women that have the same thing where foods like chicken or foods where hormones start to interact with the hormones in our body. And we're at an age where we're going through perimenopause or menopause. So he said, it's not shocking that chicken is your thing and you have to get off of it. And he said, it might make a comeback later in life and it might not. We don't know. So I had to stop eating chicken and rice. My body just stopped digesting rice. And I love rice. Okay. So it's
I know.
And we were in the height of the pandemic.
You like rice like Ryan likes oxtail, right?
Yeah, it was that. So I had to, all right, Ryan, you get off the oxtail before you're forced off. Okay, like I was.
Yeah.
So I was forced off the rice and the chicken. So that's more of a newer lifestyle. Another part of my lifestyle was I had to stop punching clocks for people and companies that I hated working at. It's like, you know what? I don't like this company, but I'm working it because it's a job. Okay. Until I can get into what I really need to do. When I was laid off in June of 2020 from one job, that was the open door. Then I went into another job that was like an online thing, and that did not suit me. I actually became sick during that job. And I was like, it's the stress. I got to let it go. And when I let that go, when I let the job go, that's when the doors opened. I got the job at my grad school to be a teaching assistant. And then later on, they hired me to be adjunct faculty. I got the job to be a health and wellness coach, and I work a good amount of hours there. I got the job to be a wellness instructor for another company. Everything fell into place, and it doesn't cause me stress. And I love what I do. And that's sort of to feed my soul, spirit, and my health. So that was a huge lifestyle change. And treatment wise, that was going to be a whole other segment today, was treatments. I have a new functional medicine doctor. She actually is a Lyme disease survivor. She's a Lyme warrior. So she knows what I'm going through. So part of my protocol is detoxing even more than I have before. And detoxing means infrared saunas, ionic foot baths, certain supplements that I didn't take, and doing that more regularly every week, not just once a week or twice a week. We're talking like 4 times a week. And that's been helping with my energy levels and just overall function. And I will say the one thing I've noticed is with my right ear, and I told her this, I said, I'm starting to feel a thumping sensation in my right ear. It feels like it's congested here. So she said, that means something is working. I said, I've never felt it before. I said, it doesn't bother me, but I said, it's different. And I know something is shaking something up in my right ear. So I want that. I want the shake up because whatever's happening needs to go. So yeah, I do that. I Rife, Rife. I have a Rife machine. And I know doctors told me to do that because I don't want them losing their licenses, because it's not FDA approved. And it's actually Rifing is decades and decades old, but it works. And that's why, unfortunately, some things are not going to be FDA approved or approved by your insurance company. And it's basically it's sending like electro signals into your body, kind of like to break up, to help you detox or break up the bacteria or break up the biofilms. And then what you have to do is, once things are broken up, I take a supplement that binds the toxins. So I take a supplement 1 to 2 times a day to get the toxins binded and then out of my body, because you don't want now things that are broken up just living free in your body. You want it out. So that's what's been happening in my universe. And the nice thing is, all this is happening in my house. I have an infrared sauna. It's portable. It folds up in the corner of my bedroom. I have the ionic foot bath. I have a Rife machine. All my supplements and stuff. And yeah, I work closely with doctors with my supplements and my diet. But again, no doctor, no practitioner told me to use the Rife machine. So nobody's getting in trouble tonight.
Okay. All right.
Nobody.
So Dr. Chati says chicken and rice. Sheesh.
Okay.
And she asked, do you do grains like quinoa?
Quinoa.
Quinoa.
Quinoa, yes. It is actually, quinoa is gluten-free. It is packed with fiber. My body loves quinoa, but yes, it's gluten-free, all the frees, and it digests really well in my body. So yes, I can do quinoa, thank God.
Good stuff. As I said, I'm coming with the conversation pieces tonight.
Okay.
And at any time, if you're not comfortable answering anything, no problem. But this may be of even more interest. Has chronic Lyme disease affected your mental or emotional well-being? And have you faced any challenges or stigma related to your condition?
Oh, yeah. So I will say I've been in and out of therapy before Lyme disease. When I lost my mother, when I lost my sister, and that was, my mom's been gone over 14 years already. So I was already introduced to therapy and counseling. And I have had battles. You can ask the family on here, the why me phase. And that's actually going to be in my memoir, which I'm wrapping up soon. Have one more chapter to write. One. But I have literally a chapter called God, Why Me? And I went into depression. Just like, God, I do everything right. I pray, I fast, I tithe, I give back, I volunteer, I'm a good mom, I'm a great mom, I'm a great daughter. Why did I get bit by the tick? There were 10 of us out there. I was the only one. And so you go through that. And there have been crying spells. There have been tantrums. Okay. There have been, like, in the height of my illness, I remember at times laying prostrate on the floor, crying, all out, just in tears, done. Like, I'm about to throw the towel in. I can't do this anymore. And that's when I knew I needed a therapist. Even all my doctors, my medical team was like, we always tell, especially those who are chronically ill, to get help. They're out there. Get a counselor, a support group. So I joined a couple of online support groups. One is called the Healing Well, and they have a multitude of like subgroups. So once you go into the Healing Well, they have Lyme disease, but then there might be one for MS, there might be one for lupus, there might be one for AIDS. So you join your group. And that group, that we were all virtual, which was beautiful because some of us were too sick to meet in person. I know I was. I wanted to just work and come home. I was forced to work because I got, denied. So, what's a disability? I don't know how many times. So I had to work. But yeah, it was an online support group. And then I did my therapy online as well. I'm currently back in therapy. I have no problem saying that because, there are emotional distressors. Just life is stressful sometimes. I have an almost 13-year-old that wears me out sometimes. He's moody. Okay. Like, just, I love him, but he's moody. Okay. Aunt Hilda, come get your nephew. Okay. So it's like,
oh gosh.
It's like,
okay, Hilda, jump off the call and
like,
just do it.
Just come down the highway, but yeah, you need professional. I know I needed professional help. And how it affects my life. Let me ask that before I didn't quite answer. It can affect your social life. I am more social now. I'm glad. But there were times where people didn't see me for a couple of years, probably a few years.
Wow.
Oh, we didn't see you at this year's picnic. We didn't see you at the SU. I went to Syracuse University. We didn't see you at the SU and DC barbecue. You're not going to see me because the fight or flight mode was so serious and the anxiety was so real. I couldn't be around crowds of people without having panic attacks. And that wasn't normal, but that was the bacteria doing that to my system. And I have Lyme. My central nervous system was impacted by Lyme disease. I still have a few lesions left in my brain. Knock on wood. They're going away bit by bit. But there were some years I was off the grid. So I am releasing books and people didn't see me. And all of it was online. I did not do book signings because my body couldn't handle it. So yeah, it took time to get back out into the world. And now that I'm out there, I am out. You hear me? Like, I am like, and I'm working on a couple of more symptoms that prevent me from flying. This inner ear one is for sure. Who wants to get on a plane with inner ear disturbance? Ouch. So yeah, that's an ouch. And fight or flight mode, just you don't know, or the shortness of breath, so I'm trying to get that underway so I could really be out. Because I have places to go, people to see. I gotta get to Canada, gotta see out there, gotta get up top. I gotta get over to Spain when my girl Leah goes over there for her 3-year service. I gotta get back to Africa.
What? So a few things when you come to Canada, of course. Who's the first person you have to meet?
There's a group of you. So there's you, Nicole Waldron. There's Lovemore, Coach Lovemore, and my girl Carolyn
Oh
Nicole.
yeah, that's
So
what
I
I'm
gotta see. She's one of my newest. She's my holistic nutritionist, y'all. And she's in Canada. My holistic nutritionist is in Canada, and
Yeah.
she's amazing.
Yeah.
She's
She
amazing. Had me get off of something I thought was helping me. She was like, "You're on apple cider vinegar. I need you to stop.
yeah, that was one of the things I
Stop."
would take. Yeah, she said stop taking that. So
I,
I'm
I
complete
was doing it daily.
actually too, and I haven't put in this Discord group. Um, for those who don't follow me, I've been fighting a sinus infection, cold flu,
Yes,
and the other like last week I said, you know what, I don't want to go to a walk-in clinic. I don't want to go. So
I know.
I called Carolyn up. I did go into a walk-in clinic, but I also called up and she gave me a holistic penicillin remedy.
I heard y'all bring that up on Monday, so we got to do
Yes.
a part 2.
Yeah,
on that.
yeah, and I'm going to, and I'm actually going to ask you, can I just take it periodically just to have preventative stuff for me?
Yeah.
And such a simple like off the top of my head, it's like you take a whole orange unpeeled, you take 3 cloves of garlic, onion, quarter cup of water, and maybe 1 or 2 other things, blend it up. It makes enough for like 10 days. Take 2 or 3 tablespoons before every meal.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that's Venny
She's
P. Venny P says, so proud of you, even though she won't come and pick up your son. So she's still
Oh,
proud of you.
that's the guy. Yeah, that's the fairy godmother right there. Me and Vanetta go back to 1987. That's my girl from 7th, 8th grade.
Right. And Dr. Tachi says, sheesh. I don't know what you're saying, sheesh too, but you're here. That's
Yeah.
all right. That's all right. I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments. Next conversation piece.
Mhm.
Can you discuss any misconceptions
Mm.
or misunderstandings you've encountered about Lyme disease, particularly in its chronic form?
This could be a whole show in itself. All right,
Oh,
so
okay.
the comment of the day. Oh, girl, you look so good. Oh, you look good. You look well. Oh, you look fine. Someone can look absolutely fine on the outside. Like, what's the old saying? Never judge a book by its cover, and be falling apart and dying on the inside. You just, and that's the thing. Oh, well, but you look so great and you look fantastic. So that's one of the misconceptions that once especially for me, once I started to get out of, I started to feel better. So, okay, I'm feeling better. And, I was feeling a bit better, I'll say that, a bit better on the inside. But I was still like, I felt like I was crumbling at the same time. But my outside was starting to look a lot better, starting to gain weight again. That's the other thing about Lyme disease. I lost a total of 30 pounds in a matter of a few months. The bacteria, everything was eating away at literally at my body. So I went from being like 170 to 140 in a matter of like 3-4 months. So I started to gain my weight back, fit my clothes better. So people were like, oh, well, you look fine. Why can't you go out? Or you go to work. So how come you can't go to this event? And that's always, the misconception that we look the part, we look good, but they assume that we feel well. And that's just with people in life, period. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. People look absolutely fine on the outside until you hear something happened, or this one, and it's like, I didn't know, but they look fine. They did. You can look fine. You can, function well at your job and just be praying. I remember I'd be at work like, God, I just want to get home and lay down. I just want to grab my son, get home, and go to bed. And it's like 6 p.m. in the evening. I wanted to go to bed. I was so exhausted. So that's one. The other one is I had some former friends. They're now former. Well, financially, you should have been better off by now. Like, why do you need so much money to treat Lyme? How come your insurance company can't pick up the tab? Why are you asking people to borrow money? Insurance, and this is a whole show in itself too. Insurance did not pick up the whole tab. And I remember writing off thousands on my taxes per year, thousands and thousands of dollars. For those who remember my white Jeep Grand Cherokee I loved, I had to put a loan on my paid off Jeep at one point because I had to pay to get well. I needed IV treatments. I had to get well. These copays were off the charts at one point. You don't meet that deductible yet. You have to pay these copays. And there were sometimes I was in doctor's offices 2, 3, and 4 times a week per week. So that's the other misconception. Oh, you're a certain age, you should be better off. I went through my whole 401k plan. I had 401k. I had retirement. I went through it all. It gone. Lyme disease ate it up to the point where I had to do payday loans. I was doing that. You know, family members on here who are non-judgmental. I love y'all. Y'all were filled with compassion, would give me money and say, we don't want it back. But it really drained me. It was draining me financially. And I had a child to take care of. At the same time, I'm raising my son. But yeah, that's just a few misconceptions. That's a few.
I like how you put the emphasis, a few.
A few. Yeah.
A few.
Yeah. It could be a whole round table of people saying, oh yeah, and when they say this or when they say that, or they assume this, they assume that. And people wonder why I don't talk to, I had to let go of some people. Some people let go of me because they, one quote was, I can't handle your situation anymore.
What?
All right, then fine. Bye. I don't need you in my life anyway.
Bless them and leave them.
Yes. Yep. And that's that. That's that. I don't want to handle it either, but I have to. Okay. Or I won't get well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless them and leave them. You know
bless
that?
Them and leave them. I love that.
Yeah. You like that one? Bless
Yep.
them and leave them 100%.
Yep.
So as Dr. Tatcha here says, wow, getting sick in America is no joke.
No joke. None.
And they were really not your friends.
No, they weren't.
100%. 100%. Before we get back to the conversation pieces, as always, please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And if you want to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I host or are a part of, please feel free to email me dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow.com. More comments coming in on the fly. I think we're up to date. We're up to date. All right. So let's get back to the conversation piece. So you see, I'm coming with a conversation today.
Yeah. It was something that I did do last year. I haven't talked to you since.
Yes.
That really did help my health. And that was last February. I had a full hysterectomy. So that's gone. The reproductive system is gone, full. And it was getting to a point where, and we talked about this in the ovarian cancer awareness shows I would do.
Yes.
So my doctor, shout out to my GYN doctor, my menstrual cycle was becoming off the charts because I was now entering perimenopause.
Right.
So I had chronic Lyme disease and I'm now entering the stages of menopause. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. This all can't be happening at the same time. And my periods were really in flux. We're talking 8, 9, 10-day cycles. And that's a lot for a woman. Yeah. And then you got the PMS. So you got PMS before so I'm like, okay, so literally 2 weeks out of each month, I was dealing with my cycle. And it got to a point where no matter what we did, we tried different treatments, different things naturally, it wasn't getting better. We did another ultrasound, a transvaginal ultrasound. There were more fibroids growing this time in my cervix. So now that they were in the uterus and cervix. I still had the cyst on each ovary. And I don't know what to this day he told the insurance company. And he said, Miss Wills, I'm going to get you approved and I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to fight for you. And he did. He fought for me. And that was November 2022. Yeah, November 2022. And within a month, I got approved for that surgery. And the next opening was February 3rd, 2023. So every third I celebrate, So June 3rd is coming up. I have another, I celebrate them monthly because my life changed. Because with PMS and with my menstrual cycle, my symptoms from Lyme would uptick dramatically. So, I mean, I was like in the throes of these symptoms more often, getting shooting pains up and down my back, down to the soles of my feet. It was like having Charlie horses all over my body. So that surgery, and and I tell people it's not for every woman. It was for me. And I could hear my mother clapping and applauding from the heavens, like, you did it, because she passed away of ovarian cancer. So that is now off the plate. And they did a full scan. They tested everything, and everything was benign. It took me several weeks to recover. But I will say my symptoms, we were now able to say, now we could go full on and treat the chronic Lyme because the cycle's out the way. The 10-day cycles are out the way. The PMS is out the way. The, fatigue and not functioning. I couldn't function. It would be like days where I could not leave my house because of my cycle. And I was like, no, this has to go. So that's been since last year. Yep. So major. And I'm sure we'll talk about it when I come back in September to talk about ovarian cancer awareness. But
Okay.
to this day, I take my hats off to my gynecologist. He said, I will fight with you. That's the type of doctor you want.
Absolutely. 100%.
Fight with you.
100%. So Bill Lauer. Oh, so hold on. Bill Lauer says, wow, Serena, you're amazing.
Oh, Bill, thank you.
And Helena goes, this is what you call a testimony.
Thanks, Helena. Thank you,
Dr.
Helena.
Chachi says, did the Lyme have an adverse effect on your cycle? So I guess you just talked about that.
Yeah, it was like they were both tussling with each other. And I was like, it was getting ugly. And I was like, I can't function. I could not function. I was like, no. Okay. And I had been fighting the insurance company for years to get this procedure, this surgery, years. And they denied me every single year. It's like they want to wait until you're like at your worst. We're like, okay, I guess we'll finally approve her.
Okay. You mentioned this earlier on. I don't know if you want to go any more in detail with it, but are there any support networks or resources that have been very valuable in coping with the chronic Lyme disease during your journey?
Yeah, one is, who knew going back to graduate school would help heal my body? So when I went back to grad school, I went to Maryland University Integrative Health to, learn to be a health and wellness coach. I was learning about ways to heal and how to de-stress the body. So that is where I started learning Qigong. And then from Qigong, I learned about Tai Chi. And then I learned about mindful eating. And I learned about, different like macronutrients and micronutrients and trace minerals and all that stuff. So just learning to be a coach was helping me, with my own battle. And then I mentioned the Healing Well. You can Google them, the Healing Well. I think it's .org. And you'll see it. It's a whole website filled with groups, and you just click the group you want to join. And I was in there between 2012 to about 2015. So for about 3 or 4 years. Yeah. I was in and out and made friends to this day. We met in the Healing Well back in 2012. They are still my friends till this day. Another one, this is another journey. This is the last chapter I'm on in my memoir. I was unfortunately, and we learn this, sometimes you live and you learn. During my Lyme disease battle, I was talking about the heightened anxiety, and it was crippling. So my doctor was kind of against, like, I don't want to put you on anti-anxiety medications. And so I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. I got to function. I have to function. And now I see why she was against it, because there was a lot of adverse effects that happened. And it took me longer to taper off of 0.5 milligrams of something than it did when I was on it. So I belong to a group called Benzo Buddies, BENZO buddies.org. And it's a whole website for people who are dealing with benzodiazepines or trying to wean off, taper off. They're in the throes of this. And what they don't tell you are the adverse effects that benzodiazepines have on the body. So my inner ear disturbance got heightened on a benzodiazepine. When I got off of it, it was suppressing my ears. When I got off the medication, it was like throwing a ball and just letting it fly free in the air. And that's how my ear operates to this day. It's just all over the place. So I joined, that was a website that really helped me out. And like I said, I had therapists, counselors, and like one-on-one therapy and a coach. I'm a coach. I have a coach. So, and then love, family and friends. I have so many of them on here now. They were a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on. They love me the same with Lyme. They didn't let me go. They were my net. They caught me. And then I will tell you, there's nothing like the hugs and love from my son every night. When I say that boy got me through. Yeah. And God sends his angels. I had some new friends come about and they were my support network. She was a neighbor of mine. Her name is Janice, and who knew a neighbor would turn into a lifeline. And she was there like when the paramedics had to take me. I had to go to the hospital in the paramedics truck, and she had to watch Jordan. I only knew her for a few weeks. I was like, can you please watch my child? Because I have to go. There's something wrong. My heart rate is off the charts. So yeah, that was my support network. We got the internet. We have friends and family, I call them. We're not blood, but we are family, and lots of love. Lots of love.
Wonderful. Will says you're a rock star.
Oh, y'all are too, Will and Bill. Love
And
y'all.
Venny P says we love you, girl.
I love you too, Vanetta.
All right. Let's have another conversation piece. And you've talked about it, but you may want to go in a little bit more deeper. How do you navigate the health care and medical support for your condition? Have you faced any difficulties in finding appropriate care or receiving validation for your symptoms?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I was misdiagnosed 9 times before the Lyme diagnosis. 9 times by several different doctors. The first misdiagnosis to me, was funny. I was like, so y'all think I have asthma? And they were like, well, why do you think that's so funny? I'm like, I'm a marathon runner. Okay, we're talking 26.2 miles. I would think I know if I have asthma. Okay, I'm just saying, I think I would know. I said, I don't think it's asthma. Then, well, you may have a stress disorder. Oh, you have pleurisy. Oh, you have the flu. Oh, you have pneumonia. Oh, you have lupus. Oh, we think you have ALS. Oh, we think you have. It was a laundry list of what people thought I had. One doctor, an allergist, said, I don't quite know what's going on with you, but whatever is going on with you, it is setting off like atomic bombs in your immune system. And it's spreading. She said, I don't know if it's viral, but it's something. So she was the one leading on to like, it's something that no one else has detected yet. And I actually found my integrative health doctor through a good friend of mine who said, oh yeah, she's my doctor. She helped me out. And I found her on Groupon. And that's how I found my doctor, on Groupon. Okay. And she believed in me. She helped me to formulate part of the team. But there were doctors, I mean, all the way up until 2021, Dr. Vibe, where I had this horrible neurologist. Horrible. My neurologist I had of all these years, I love him. He stepped up. I'm proud of him. He's like now the department chair. He is like the chairman of the neurology department of a major hospital. So what happens to people like me? And the good news was I'm good. I'm well enough where I was able to roll off his books. But eventually all his patients and clients have to roll off. So we were trying to find a new neurologist that can understand Lyme. And I got hooked up with this one in Northern Virginia who was like, you don't have Lyme, you have multiple sclerosis. And I was like, well, why don't you talk to my neurologist of over a decade and he can talk to you? And why don't you talk to my whole medical team? And because we ruled that out. And he was very crass. He talked down to me. It was to the point where I walked out of there in tears. Even the nurses were like, are you okay? Are you fine? I said, I'm not okay. And I'm filing a complaint against him. I was like, because if he did this to me, I know he did it to other people. So there's still doctors who are naysayers, despite my medical records, despite my battle, despite it all. And that's part of the challenges. Also part is, what is insurance going to cover and what are they not going to cover? Like I'm on a medication right now where insurance said, oh, we'll cover $5. $5.
$5.
Not I pay $5 and we'll cover the rest. We will cover $5. Or the one time I went and got an MRI of my brain and spine, which is a normal thing for me. I get an MRI. Now it's down to every year and a half, every 2 years. It used to be every 6 months to a year. But I remember getting $1,000 bill in the mail. What is this? Oh, that's your copay because you didn't meet the deductible yet. $1,000. And I remember where I was. I was opening the mail in front of like my son's aftercare. I was going to get him signed up for aftercare. And I'm crying in the Jeep, like, who's going to pay this? $1,000? And that is where my grandmother, shout out to Nana, may she rest in peace. She said, the worst they could say is no, but you have to ask. So I remember calling that health system saying, I don't have $1,000. What can I do? And they said, you know what? We have a foundation and maybe you meet the criteria. And just if you could fill out this little short application, we'll send it on up the food chain and maybe you could get approved. And sure enough, I filled it out and they covered the whole $1,000. And they even went back and said, what other bills do you have? And I sent them those bills. And all of a sudden those bills disappeared. So you'll never, unless you ask, you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Bill says you learn who your true friends are when you're dealing with a real life crisis. Absolutely. Friends will stay, others will run. 100%. 100%.
Yes, 1,000%, Bill. You
Hilda
got it.
says yes, definitely. We love you. And
love
Dr.
you,
Tachi shares hearts. Another conversation piece for you. How has chronic Lyme disease influenced your perspective on health, resilience, and life in general?
Ooh, I'm one resilient chick. You understand me? I knew I was resilient. And it takes sometimes people to tell you you're resilient. After losing my mother, that was crushing. And, there's quite a few of us that we are resilient because I could have easily fallen apart and said, God, take me home with her. Okay. But no, but this illness, when it happens to you, it's a different level of resilience that comes with it. And I had a choice. It's like I either cannot try to treat this thing at all, or I can fight. And I chose to fight. And with the fighting, I didn't know my path was going to be redirected. I had a whole career in the nonprofit field. You couldn't have told me I was going to go into the health and wellness coaching field or health and wellness. You couldn't tell me I was going to be a Lyme advocate. That's part of my resiliency. I'm now advocating. Now I'm at a level where I'm adjunct faculty, for grad school. And part of what I did, I took a research class last trimester. And I used that class to do more research on Lyme disease. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to, I have a wonderful department chair. And he's really pushing me. Like, I really want to see this published. He was like,
Wow.
they need your voice, Serena. And he said, I know it's tiring. He said, research is tiring. Dr. Tachi knows.
Oh,
He
yeah.
said, but the research you're finding and the questions you're asking, it's needed. So that's a goal of mine, is to put on the researcher hat and develop a paper and present papers at that level. So yeah, you do build. I have built a lot of resiliency. My son looks up to me. I don't want him looking up to a woman who's given up. And I'm not built
Powerful
like
statement.
that. I'm not built. I'm built from a grandmother, a praying grandmother, where she said she literally got her on her knees and prayed for me. And, my mom and my aunt who's here. And those are the women I come from. Okay. So we're strong. We're strong. So I had no choice. And I want to pour into, so I'm a coach. I pour into other people, my clients, I pour into them. And you need that, because as I've learned, you have the real friends and you got the ones that are not. And you need someone to genuinely pour into you and let you know you are resilient, you are marvelous, you are amazing, you will heal. And it takes time. Now I do cry over times like, why is over a decade, God? That's why I have a chapter, God, why me? But I guess why not me? Tara Lassard used to say that, our beloved friend. She said, I don't think anybody else in my family would have been able to handle this.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I'm like, yeah. And I guess there's a path that God had carved out for me. And Lyme disease really put me on that path. I wouldn't be a health and wellness coach without Lyme disease. I wouldn't have a Lyme disease memoir coming out. I wouldn't be an advocate for Lyme. So yeah, it's really built me up in lots of ways. Lots of ways.
Good stuff. Can you share any advice or insights for others who may be living with chronic Lyme disease or supporting someone who is?
Yeah. I'm going to try not to get emotional. So I don't want you to give up. I don't, because you're going to have days, if you haven't had the days where, especially like me, the way my symptoms rolled, it was like a snowball effect. It was like it went from a few symptoms to more to like 35 plus symptoms. And there are times where I have met Lyme warriors that have flatlined and came back to life. And they're like, we died. We're not supposed to be here. And, like my heart rate that day was off the charts. They were like, if we can't get it down, we're going to have to admit you, because this is like really bothersome. Your heart rate, blood pressure. But I don't want y'all to give up. There are doctors out there that will help you. There are practitioners out there, from nutritionists to functional medicine practitioners to chiropractors to Reiki therapists, massage therapists, you name it. They're out there and they are willing to help. They're there to fight alongside of us. And I just want those to know that if there are people in your life that are causing you stress, strife, and they are really toxic, let them go, because it's not going to help your healing process. And God had to strip people of me, but there was some I had to let go. Like, you know what? You are really stressing me out. And even like now, I have chronic Lyme and I'm better, and there's still people stressing me. I'm like, you know what? God, I'm praying. What my prayers are, okay? But it's okay to let them go. It's hard, especially if you've known them for decades. You're like, oh, we're supposed to be like lifelong friends. No. Some people only meant to be a chapter in your life, a paragraph in your life, a few chapters. But, you got to let them go, because this is your health. You only get one chance at this.
Your health is your wealth, and your
Your
wealth
health is your, exactly. What are you going to do with money if you ain't here?
right.
Okay, like, just what are you going to do with your dreams if you're not here? Okay, so the goal is to get well and to get better.
Well, as Sting said many years ago, if you love somebody, set them free.
Set them free.
Set them free. Free, free.
I love you enough to let you go. It's
Bless them and leave them. Bless them and let them go. Bless them and
bless
let
them
them
and
go.
leave them.
Bless them
And
and leave them. There you go.
they could reach out to me. I have my own health and wellness coaching practice, Divine Wryte Wellness.
We haven't finished yet. Behave yourself.
Okay, I was to say that's part of like my career. They can reach out to me.
Wait, we haven't finished yet. Hold on. Got one or two
Reach
more
out to
things.
me.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like people to know or understand about living with chronic Lyme disease?
It's not easy. And you have your great days, your good days, your so-so days, and your I don't want to get out of bed days. And you want to have the right people around you that are going to understand that. They're not going to have an attitude with you because, oh, well, you had energy yesterday. Why don't you have it today? Because that's how my body operates. Okay, it's when I have the energy, I'm blessed, I'm thankful. But when I need to rest, I am taking note and I'm listening and I'm going to rest. If I want to keep my PJs on all day, I can do that. Okay, most of the time I'm working and coaching. I have on my nice shirt or my t-shirt. My clients love that my shirts always have like positive sayings on them. But I have my pajama bottoms on and my sweatpants, and my ankle socks. That's how I'm most comfortable. And now I'm able to work that way. Okay. So, but there are days where, and I'm better where I don't want to lay in bed all day because the cycles are gone. That was part of the problem. But chronic Lyme, you don't know. Sometimes even like when you wake up in the morning, you might feel great. You don't know how you're going to feel by 2 p.m. You don't know how you're going to feel by 8 p.m. It really is an hour to hour thing. But you know what? Instead of focusing on, oh, I don't know how I'm going to feel by 2 or 3, I'm more mindful and I'm more present. And I'm like, I'm just thankful I feel good now. And let me just hope I can rock it out for the rest of the day like this. And even if I fall, the energy falls flat, I just really need to be obedient and listen to my body. But that's chronic Lyme. And everybody's different. Everybody is different. How come my loved one's not like that? Because your loved one is uniquely made. Okay, in God's eyes. Okay, we're all uniquely made. And, our genes are different. Our immune systems are different. All of that takes, so give people grace. And if you can't then please step out of their lives. Don't cause people stress. Okay, and you know who you are. Okay, so it's like, yeah, I've been causing them a lot of stress. Either shape up, as Nana used to say, or ship out.
Gotcha. One last conversation piece. This may be the most interesting one of the whole night.
Okay.
What's the message you have for your son, since he's probably going to be watching this live or on repeat?
Oh, Jordan. Oh, God. You're really trying to pull the tears out of me, Dr. Vibe. Jordan, I love you. And he'll get this. And Aunt Hilda's going to crack up. And so Vanetta, I love you how Nana loves chocolate. And for those who knew Nana, she was a chocoholic. That's one of her voicemail messages on my phone I still have. I love you more than 2 boxes of chocolates. You knew. Okay. But Jordan, I don't think I'd be here without you. Your love, your affection, he's so empathetic. He's such an empathetic child. I could be in a whole different room and he'll walk in and be like, Mom, are you okay? And I'm like, how did you know? You haven't seen me all day. You're over there gaming across the apartment. Well, I'm just here to check on you and will give me the biggest hug. And I want you to stay that way, Jordan. Stay affectionate, stay loving, stay joyful. He's such a comic. He's just so comedic. And just keep being who you are, filled with energy, filled with life. And just know I love you for life. We have a lot to do still, and I'm proud of you. This last school year was challenging. 6th grade, the first year of middle school was hard. It was harder than grad school. Okay, so But you did it. We did it. And I just want to thank you, Jordan. I love you so much.
I think it's a perfect way to end this epic conversation.
I'm going to cry after this.
Dr. Tachi says, wow. I want to say thank you for the person you have been, are, and will be, and continue to flourish. And there's contact information to the easiest, probably website and Instagram, SerenaWills.com, and then Instagram, Divine Wryte. That's DIVINE WRYTE.
Yes.
WRYTE.
Yes.
And Hilda says, Jordan, the way he is, Serena, because you give him so much love.
Oh, Hilda, I get that from you. Me and my auntie, I was stuck at her hip as a little girl. So
I don't blame her from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's my that's my she's my aunt and my godmother. She is my real godmother. So mommy did me a favor with that one. But yeah, folks can read me Divine Wryte. If you just put the .com, it's also my health and wellness coaching practice website, divinewryte.com. Okay. And people can reach out to me that way too.
Bill says truly amazing.
Oh, Bill, love you.
Dr. Tachi says this was so great.
Thank you, Sora Tachi. Oh, hand claps. I can't wait to see you next month, Vanetta. We got some graduates next month. We got some shout out to my godsons, Angel and DJ. They did that. Angel's graduating from high school and DJ is graduating from middle school. Those are my other two heartbeats. They really have pushed me. I love those boys like my own sons. So shout out to them and my goddaughter, Kayla. Love them. Love them.
100%. And Hilda D says, ooh, thank you. Bill says, Will and I love you.
Love you too. Love you both. Love you both so much.
Thank you so much. We will chat. And as always, to yourself, don't just you and your son, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. And remember to give yourselves grace.
Amen.
All right. Thank you. All right, family. And Bill says, Dr. Vibe, awesome as always. No, all of us. This is a co-creative conversation, so it's not just me. Hilda D says, hi, Vanetta. So more family checking each other out on the platform. So a few last things before we shut it down. So as I said at the beginning, let me just pull it up here. I'm going, oh my gosh. What am I doing? I'm doing here. I lost some of myself here. Okay, here we go. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If you want to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I host, please feel free to email me, dr.vibe@drvibeshow.com. If you want to watch replays of this epic conversation called The Dr. Vibe Show, go to The Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and on my website, drvibeshow.com. One more commento. Vinny Pay says, hi, Aunt Hilda. Something tells I'm going to have a Divine Wryte reunion on the platform. Maybe that's what we're going to have to do. Is Serena bring all the family? We hang out for an hour or two and just check each other and compare stories. I think that'd be an interesting thing. Don't you? I do. So as we close out, as always, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions and aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. And remember to give yourself grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. God bless. Peace you well. Keep the faith. Walk good. And if you know someone who has Lyme disease or you have it yourself, ask for help. If you know someone, ask what you can do for them. God bless. Peace you well. Keep the faith and walk good.